Hi everybody, this is Kelly Hernandez again, and I'm going to show you now the books that I picked out to represent texture. The first one I want to show you is The Widow's Broom by Chris Van Allsburg, another Chris Van Allsburg book. Um, I really enjoy his books, and I have quite an extensive collection, so several of these made it into my videos tonight. But I wanted to show you this one to represent texture. I guess first I'll tell you a little bit about what the book is about. Um, it's basically about a witch who crash lands on this broom, and then the widow, they land in a garden, and the widow finds the broom and brings it into her house, and the broom actually comes to life and starts doing all these chores and starts doing all these things around the house. And then the townspeople basically start getting worried about the broom, because they're thinking that that can't possibly be good, that this broom has some magic and is dangerous, and so they set out to destroy it. So that's kind of the basic premise of the book. Um, but I wanted to show you some fantastic examples of texture. Again, I love Chris Van Allsburg books because they're so rich with the detail. But I wanted to show you this one. Here, this is the first picture we get of the broom itself, and you can just see the texture in this. I mean, you can just imagine touching the bristles on the broom. I mean, it's so realistic. And oh, there's so many good examples. This one I particularly like too. It has the broom feeding the chickens, and you can see both the amazing texture in the feed itself and on the broom, but then even on the chickens, you can just imagine touching the feathers of the chicken. They just look soft. You can just imagine reaching out and touching them. So there's a couple of great examples of texture in this book. Oh, that's one I wanted to show you too. We have the wood from that the broom has chopped all the wood outside, and you can see the great texture on the wood, and you can just imagine feeling those ridges on the wood. So I love this one and the great examples of textures that it shows. It also is a good example of space. I wanted to show you in particular this picture that shows when at the beginning when the witch is starting to fall off her broom. There's great examples of space on there. They've used up the entire page to illustrate, and you've got the little tiny town and the village below with the little paths, and the trees all look tiny, and then we're way up high. You can see the witch and the broom up high. So as you can imagine, you can imagine just looking down upon the town from like the witch's perspective. So I'm so sorry my dog keeps barking in the background. He doesn't like thunder, and it just started thundering outside. So um, okay, so that was all I wanted to show you out of that book. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked with my dog in the background. He's making me crazy. The next one I wanted to show you to show texture is going to be called How the Rhino Got His Skin, which is illustrated by John Joven. And this one, it's a really cute, simple kind of folk tale about how the rhino got his loose skin. It's about the rhino who stole a cake from a baker, and then in order to get him back, the rhino takes off his skin while he goes swimming, and while he's out swimming, the guy gets him back by putting all these old dry cake crumbs in his skin. So then when the rhino gets done swimming and he gets back out of the water and he puts his skin back on, he's all itchy from the skin, and the more he itches and rubs on things to try and take care of the itch, the looser and baggier his skin gets. So that's basically how the rhino got his skin. So this one, I like this one because it shows texture in a couple of places, specifically on the rhino especially. Let me find the ones I was looking for. Where are they at? Actually, we'll start with the cover. Even on the cover itself, you can see all the texture to the rhino's skin. He's got all these like saggy little spots, so you can just imagine that nice loose skin that rhinos have. And then later on in the book, when he's starting to itch up against the tree, you can again see that baggy skin and see all that texture in his skin. And on that one, you can actually see the texture on the tree as well. It's kind of simplistic, but there's some nice texture on there that you can actually see as well. And then the other thing, another element that I wanted to point out in this book, which I can actually show you on this exact same page, is the use of line to show movement. As you can see around the rhino, there's all these little movement lines, which, you know, show you the rhino as he's itching and scratching and going crazy with this itchy skin. And the same thing on the other page. They have all these great little movement lines. So, and this one, I think, like the other ones that I've read, is pretty, the illustrations are nice and true to the story. They follow along really well. I think it's all really accurate. And, so this one is how the rhino got his skin, and then, of course, The Widow's Broom. So I hope you enjoyed both those books. Thank you so much.